Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be getting into my top 5 favorites and my bottom 5 not so good favorites of the new releases in the luxury category. Now, in the video, I'm actually collaborating with one of my friends here on the YouTube platform. Her name is Gigiz from Gigiz Beauty. She's new to the YouTube platform and she's doing such a great job and excelling so quickly, and she's got such great quality content. And I love introducing you guys to those channels who are new and deserve love and support. She is amazing. She's so talented. She's actually got really great quality, like way better than my quality was when I first started. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm still trying to up my game because I don't know what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I don't know about all this lighting and filming and camera junk, and it's a lot. So I commend her for upping her game and really bringing it, and she is incredible. So I will leave a link to her channel in the description box down below, and also a link to her video so you can hear her top 5 and her bottom 5 of the new launches that have launched in the luxury category. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into my picks. But before we do, one of each. So I've got one in the bottom category and one in the top category that's not new per se. It wasn't like a brand new launch, but it's new to me. And I've wanted to take an opportunity to discuss these with you guys, but I just haven't had a chance to. So just FYI, one of them of each category is not new, but the rest are. So let's start with the bad. I like to get the bad out of the way so we can get into the good. So the first product is the one I was talking about. This is not a new launch, but this is new to me. This retails for $260. And let me say this, the only reason why I bought it is because it has 19 reviews on Sephora and it's got a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So I was really interested in testing this out and really wanting it to work, especially paying $260 for it. So this is called the Brilliance Brightening Mask. It is a brightening 2-step mask that delivers brightening benefits by diminishing the look of dark spots and discoloration for a vibrant, luminous glow. So the skin concerns are dullness and uneven texture, dryness and redness, okay? So I wanted to use this for some of my hyperpigmentation. I pretty much used it for a month straight. I think I used it about 3 to 4 times a week. And I really just did not notice that much of a difference to justify the $260. So here's my thing. Like, I don't mind spending like $260 on something that's gonna make a pretty drastic difference. But for me, I didn't notice enough difference to make this worth it. I think it might have faded my dark spots a little bit, but I don't think it would have been any different than using a retinol cream or any of your HAAs or, you know, lactic acid or anything like that. So I felt like this was just completely overpriced and overhyped based on my experience of it. I'm going to continue to use it, but I don't think this is all that great. I'm really surprised it has that high of a rating because some of the reviews I was reading, like they noticed a difference right away. And because I already have a natural glow to my skin, maybe that's the reason why I didn't notice like a glowing look to my skin, because I already have that. So possibly if I had maybe more dull skin, or maybe if I was more dry at the time, maybe I would have noticed more of a difference. But I was basically using this to target my hyperpigmentation, and I just didn't get the best results from it. So I wanted to let you guys know that this is a no-go. It's way too expensive, and it does not have that much effect on the skin to justify a $260 price tag. Let's jump into the next one. So this is the Natasha Denona Bronze Cheek, Face, and Glow Palette. I absolutely do not like this palette. You guys know that when I reviewed this along with the bronze palette, this I just did not like. And the number one thing that I didn't like about it is these 2 cream products up here. I really like her cream formulas in her other face palettes that I have, but there's something different about this one. It's like a really weird, like putty weirdness that just doesn't give you anything over time. And I don't know why, but this one doesn't even show up on, like when you swatch it, it doesn't hardly even show up. It's weird. Like it's not a good cream formula. I'm really surprised that she put this formula in this palette. Not my favorite. This one is the exact same way. This one, I can't even really get it to show up. It's they're just not very shiny, and they're not very, like, for me, when I use a product like this, I want it to be kind of like a sun-kissed glow, where it doesn't look like a powder highlighter. It's definitely got that creamy texture that kind of hugs to the skin and gives it that real pretty look. I have not got that with this. I still don't like it. The only shade that I like in this palette is this shade right here. This shade is just way too dark. Even if you use it over a bronzer, I mean, it will bronze you up so much and almost too much. So this is a no-go for me, and it's still a no-go. I've tried to use it several times after I reviewed it, and I just do not like that face palette. So the next one is something that I just recently reviewed, and I have played with it 2 times since I filmed that video. I played with it throughout the weekend, and I just do not like this palette. This is the Pat McGrath, this is the Rose Decadence palette, and for me, this is not Pat McGrath quality. This is not $65 for 6 shades quality. Like, this just did not do it for me. There seems to be some discrepancies with, you know, some people love their palette and other people just didn't have a good experience with it. Now, on the Sephora website, there are 31 reviews, and so far it only has a 3.7 out of 5 star. So there's several people that are having the exact same experience that I am with this palette. Mattes are just kind of rough, and they just are not as creamy as her normal formula, and they're not as pigmented. And the shimmers are just kind of blah, like the duochrome in the palette is really not that spectacular. So for me, this is just a no-go. Like, I still don't like it, and I've tried to continue to use it, and it's still a no-go. So yeah, but for those of you that got the palette and you're loving it, like, I am so happy because you didn't waste your money like I did. And nothing is worse than wasting your money when it comes to buying, you know, luxury products. So, you know, we've all have a different experience, and we all like different things, and what works for one may not work for the other, and vice versa. So it is what it is. But if you got that palette and you are absolutely loving it, then that makes me so happy. The next product I want to talk about is this from Giorgio Armani. This is the Neo Nude True to Skin Natural Glow Foundation. This is so bad on my skin. This does not look good on my skin. I just don't think I meant to wear Giorgio Armani foundations, because even the Luminous Silk that everybody absolutely loves, that one just, I'm like, yeah, it's not that great. Like, it's okay, but I have so many other foundations that are so much better. I've always wondered what the hype was behind the Luminous, because it just didn't work for me. And so I kind of had high hopes for this one, thinking, well, maybe if the Luminous Silk doesn't work for me, then maybe this will. No, this doesn't work. I have tried it so many times. I mean, you can see, well, I guess you guys can't see. I'm looking at it through the light, and I have used about this much of the product from here up, and I've really, really tested it. I've tested it on days where I just wanted a little bit on the face to kind of bring some color to my skin and kind of, you know, tone things down and bring it all one level, and, you know, hardly any makeup, and I still just do not like the way this wears. I don't think this is a good foundation at all, so it's a no-go. The next product, I reviewed it, but I don't have it with me. I actually sent it to my friend, Teresa is Dead. You guys know Teresa is my girl. This is the Hourglass Infinity Powder, and I sent it to her because she has a lighter skin tone than I do. This was targeted for light to medium skin. Well, I have a medium skin with like a golden undertone, and that turned my skin so gray. It looked ridiculous on my skin. And it looked so bad. It didn't even look pretty as a highlighter. It was not my favorite powder from Hourglass. And they have such beautiful ambient powders. Just some of the prettiest finely milled powders on the market. And I love all of their powders. Like, this one kind of surprised me that I didn't love it, but it just didn't look good or work for my skin tone. So I'm going to be repetitive based on that review. That powder, in my personal opinion, is only good for those of you out there who have a lighter skin tone. Now, if you're really fair, I don't know that it's going to work because it might be too dark. But she has a light skin tone and she is loving it. I mean, she is loving it. So it's a beautiful powder. You just have to have the right skin tone to wear it. And so that was a complete no-go for me. Okay, so we got the bad out of the way. Let's jump into the goods, because I got a few products over here that I'm excited to talk to you about. So this first one is the one that I was talking about, that this is not new to the makeup world, but it's new to me. And I spent a pretty penny on her. I think this is $190-ish. This is the SISLEY Double Tenseur Instant Long-Term Base, I guess. I don't even know. It's the primer. It's the SISLEY primer that everybody's raved about for years. I see the hype behind this. This is something that I really like. And I see and understand why people love this. It does not justify the $190 price tag. And that kind of steers me away from telling you to buy it, because I just don't think that you ever need to spend $190 on a primer for your skin. I just don't think I think it's absolutely absurd. So I have been testing this for a while now. You've heard me talk about it. I've referred to it in several videos, and I've been putting this to the test with multiple foundations for probably about a month, maybe even a month and a half. And I really like this primer. This gives you kind of the same effect as the gripping primer from the Cover FX, but in a much softer, hydrated way. So the gripping primer from Cover FX, when you put it on, it really, like, your foundation just attaches to it and it just doesn't budge all day. This SISLEY primer, I have had that same experience with it, like, where if I'm going to be going out and I need, like, my foundation, like if I'm going to go to a wedding, I mean, I haven't been to a wedding, but I'm giving you occasions where you would want to use a primer like this. You need your foundation to be absolutely perfect for 12 hours. This just really locks and loads the foundation, and it gives it such a hydrated look. It is a great, great primer, but it is absolutely, unequivocally not worth $190. But I wanted to talk about it in case there were some of you out there who have been curious, and maybe you have it, maybe you can budget this in your budget to buy something like this. I am not telling you to buy it, because I do think that you could probably achieve the same effect with the gripping primer, but if you're dry, I would not recommend the gripping primer. I think that's where the SISLEY kind of, they give you everything. They give you a little bit of the hydration. It makes your skin just look so soft and plump, and then it grips your foundation so that your foundation sticks to it. Now, I don't use this every day, and I will never use this every day. And I want to also mention, I will never repurchase this. Even though this is a great primer, I will never repurchase this, because I just cannot ever justify $190 for a primer. So the only reason why I'm talking about it in this video is because many of you guys have been waiting to hear my thoughts on this, and it's a great primer. I understand the hype behind it, but it is never worth $190. Like, if you're super wealthy and you just have tons of money, then you go, girl, buy what you want. But I just would much rather have something that would last longer, like a set of makeup brushes that I can use over and over and over and over and over for years to come. I would rather spend my money there than I would with this, but this is a good primer. Like, it's a 5 out of 5 for me. I have never had a bad experience with this primer, and it actually makes foundations that I don't like, makes me like them more, which is interesting. So again, not worth the price, but a nice primer. Let's talk about the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. I love this foundation. It's so beautiful. And I love the way it makes my skin look, and I love the longevity of it. And I really like this. It's a beautiful, beautiful foundation. I finally got it in the right shade. Remember in my review, I bought 7.5 Shell Beige, and it was gray on me, like so gray. So I sent that one back to Sephora, and I actually picked up Tawny 7.0, and I picked up 7.2 Sepia. And I would say right now, while I'm a little bit more tan, or faking it with my fake tan, the Sepia actually matches me pretty good. But I think Tawny's going to be just an all-around really good shade for me. So if you guys are close to my skin tone, I definitely recommend the Tawny. But what a beautiful, beautiful foundation. Now, I don't know what the original formula, how it wore and how it looked, because I actually never bought it. But this is just beautiful. And I love how soft it is. It's not a very like matte foundation. There's a lot of foundations that are just matte. This one's very soft and kind of blurs the pores, and it just looks beautiful. It is a beauty, and I'm really glad that this is not the same price as the shade in Illuminate. This one I can handle a little bit more than I can the shade Illuminate, because I still don't understand why they charged $150 for the shade Illuminate. This one's a little bit more reasonably priced, but it's still pretty expensive. But it is a beautiful, beautiful foundation, and I'm still loving it, wearing it all the time. The next product is this from Hourglass. So this is the Veil Soft Focus Setting Spray, and I love this. What a beautiful setting spray from Hourglass. Like, they nailed this formula, like nailed it out of the ballpark. It's so soft. It kind of gives you like a blur look, but in a very soft way. It's not too much. It somehow softens things up without being very noticeable. I love this setting spray. It has been one of my favorite, and it's got a nice shaker on it too. It just distributes the perfect amount of product. I love it. It's good. It's a good setting spray. It's very expensive, but it's nice. So the next product I want to talk about is the Gucci bronzer. I love this bronzer. I'm wearing it again today. I can't stop using it because I really love the instant pigmentation that it gives me. I actually have this in the shade 04, which I think is tan. I don't use the brush ever, obviously, but I love this bronzer. I didn't want to like it because it's so expensive, much more than like the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, which I really love. But this is just beautiful. I've been really using the heck out of it. In fact, I've used it so much that you can't see the Gucci. You can barely see the word Gucci right here. But I still love this bronzer. I didn't want to, but I do. And I love the color of it. And I love the packaging, but the formula is like butter. It just blends and melts into your skin. It's gorgeous. I can't help but love that bronzer. It's absolutely beautiful. The final product I want to talk about is actually what I'm wearing today, and this is the Natasha Denona Bronze Palette. And I am still loving this palette, absolutely loving it. And I am so excited to use it for fall coming up, because these shades just give me life. Now, here's the thing. This is a palette that I did not think that I needed, but so glad I have. So we probably have all of these tones in multiple palettes. But the nice thing about this palette is I have all these tones in one palette, and I don't have to reach for other tones in different palettes. This is a perfectly balanced bronze palette. There are two shades that are missing that I wish this palette had. Number one is a dark brown. This can be built to be pretty dark, but I wish that there was a really like a matte chocolate brown. And I also wish that there was a lighter shade for like an inner corner highlight, like a light champagne gold shade. But I just throw on my highlighter and call it a day. I like putting highlighter on as an inner corner, so it's fine with me. But that, in my opinion, is the only thing this palette is missing, and it is so pretty. So today, I actually grabbed these two shades right here and mixed them together, and I put it all over my lid. Then I grabbed this shade right here and stuck it kind of in the crease, blended it out with a little bit of the mustard and a little bit of this. And then I added this to the outer corner and the lower lash line. And I actually used this as an eyeliner. So what I did was I took my brush that's like this and I dampened it and went in and then just kind of stamped it as an eyeliner, just to kind of give me a little bit of a winged effect, but in a very soft way without using like a liquid eyeliner. But I love this palette. Oh my gosh, do I love this palette. She nailed it. Such a good palette. So those are my picks. Those are my top 5 and my bottom not so favorite 5s. Let me know what you guys think of the products that I discussed in today's video. Definitely head over to Gigi's channel, Gigi's Beauty. She's absolutely beautiful. Give her some love. She's incredible and such a sweet soul. Thank you, Gigi, for your patience and collaborating with me on this video. I really, really appreciate it. You are a gem in this industry, and I am so excited to share this platform with someone as genuine as you. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.